Okie dokie, pack one, and we have opened Mirko Vosk. Almost assuredly the pick, very much like him. It's also Putrefy, Haunter of Night Vale. Both very good, very strong cards. Unfortunately, we're passing the Haunter, which is going to pass a Dimir signal, but it doesn't matter. Mirko Vosk, in my opinion, is worth playing. I don't know how to avoid. It's not worth. I mean, Putrefy, there's also a green, Thrashing Moss Dogs in this pack. So really, I don't know. I think either way, anything you're picking, you're passing. Any of the good cards in here, you're passing that same signal. So let's just take the Mirko Vosk and see if we can maybe maintain Dimir or splash one of the colors in his casting cost. Alright, past a Renegade Crisis, but there's also Pilfered Plans, which is pretty cool with Mirko Vosk. And actually we're not passing too many more Dimir cards after that. Looks like red and white. So let's take Pilfered Plans here. Can still go 3-color if we have to. Wow. Warped Physique. It's a very strong card. Another Pilfered Plans would be good, but I think we're just going to slam the Warped Physique. Always love making that Dimir deck. So hopefully wheel the Pilfered Plans. It does happen more often than you'd think. Probably wheel the Hired Torture. Possibly wheel the Maze Abomination. Here we can take the Windrake. It's also Punish, which is quite good. Gel and Sphinx, which is quite good. I'm fine with Windrake, though. It's a pretty solid, keeps us on this Dimir plan. Pretty solid pick in general. Okay, now we have Maze Abomination, Mind Static. I'm fine with Abomination. It's a good 6-drop. Clogs up the board fairly well. Yeah, I dig pretty much all the cards we have so far. Hopefully keep this Dimir thing going. Definitely someone's going into blue. I mean, we're passing Jelen Sphinx and other good blue cards. All right, here we can take the Gatekeeper if we thought we were going to get enough gates. But I actually have come to like Maze Glider quite a bit. So I think I'm going to pick that. It is a 6-drop, but I've been comparing it to Asperious Skywatch. Yes, Skywatch detains a creature, but Maze Glider has 2 more toughness and affects other creatures you control. So I've come to like the card quite a bit. It's a good finisher. Maze Abomination as well. These two are probably the best. I'm trying to think of the other ones. The red one is okay. The green one is okay. Good, okay to good. I've played Maze Abomination. No, Maze Behemoth quite a bit, and I like it. So still on the Mirko Vosk plan. You don't even have to be. Thing is, you don't even have to be dedicated Mel to play Mirko Vosk by any means. He's just perfectly fine on his own. All right, take another Pilfered Plans. Love this card. Good value. Pack 2 is going to be very important, as that's going to be our Dimir pack. And we have to clean up on blue and black cards out of the last pack, so we can find some scavenge with like Sewer Shambler and Locust maybe. And the blue cards, just flyers, maybe like Vassal Soul if we have to. And so we'll see. I mean, once again, pack 2 is going to be very important. We want to make sure we pick up enough removal. Mirko Vosk typically ends the game in about 2 turns, which is pretty awesome. Here we're pretty clearly taking the Mind Static. Boros Guildgate, probably the best card remaining in the pack, but let's just take as much Dimir as we can, kind of make that dry up. Get as much of it as we can. I wouldn't mind some Grizzly Spectacles. Those are a pretty high commodity. If you haven't been watching my last few drafts, I've been trying to stick to 2-color as often as I can. I feel like 3-color is very good, and you can make it work, but not having to grab fixing, if you can make 2-color work, I say go for it. Definitely slamming Fatal Fumes here. It's a pretty good removal spell. We can take the... I don't really like Serve as a trick that much. Ubulsar or Opal Lake Gatekeeper seems like it's playable. Alright, definitely tabled that Pilfered Plans and the Hired Torture. I think I'd rather have 3 Pilfered Plans. Find our bomb. Hired Torture is fine, but not necessary right now. Could take the Clue Stones for like Orzhov for like a splash, but let's just take Hidden Strings. It's not a very good card, but if you get Extort, I could see it being playable. Another Mind Static, I guess. Probably not playing both of them. Maybe playing one. Opal Lake Gatekeeper in general is not a great one. It does cantrip, but we currently have 0 gates. We're not likely to play gates in this deck, so there is that. I mean, it is a 2/4 body, so it's like an amphibian cutthroat from M12, if you remember that card. And it has a additional perk to it if you get lucky. But once again, we don't likely look like a deck that's going to need multiple gates. Wow. Alright, this pack's pretty good. I think we want the white of Precinct 6 since we already have Pilfered Plans and Mirko Vosk. It's going to be quite strong. There's also Skyjack, not on color stuff, but Zamek Guildmage, Boros Charm, Watery Grave, Skinbrand, Daring Skyjack, Scorchwalker. A lot of good red, white, green, blue cards, but let's take white Precinct 6. It's pretty excellent. First pick for us with all our draw cards. With all our draw card and make them mill the triple Pilfered Plans. Maybe we'll get another one. That'd be kind of cool. Wouldn't mind some extort creatures, some more removal. Death's Approach seems like it would be a very good card for us. Currently our removal is Warped Physique and Fatal Fumes, but it's not horrible. It's still early on, so can find the right cards. 14 playables in the deck currently. Cloudfin Raptor seems fine here. Actually, Grizzly Spectacle I think is going to be the pick. With the triple Pilfered Plans, I'd rather be a little more control-y. So we're going to take Grizzly Spectacle over the Cloudfin Raptor. And there's also Truefire Paladin, Daring Skyjack, Biomass Mutation, Aerial Maneuver. Multiple Skyjacks being passed is a little bit worrisome, but we'll take the Grizzly Spectacle here pretty happily. Excellent removal. Works well with both white and Mirko Vosk. Pretty good sign that we got past that, because I was worried that we were passing, the Hunter of Nightvale to the opponent on the right, and the fact that he did not first pick the Grizzly Spectacle is a pretty good sign. Alright, we did in fact get past another white of Precinct 6, so that's pretty awesome. We're going to slam that over the Psychic Strike and Syndicate Enforcer and Gutter Skulk. There's also Corpse Blockade, some good on-color stuff for us here. Pit Fight in the pack, not on color, but good removal. Guardian, excellent card. Guardian of the Gateless, that is. Let's take the white of Precinct 6. Happy to have 2 of those. Alright, next pack. There's Last Thoughts, Totally Lost, Gutter Skulk, Sunhome Guildmage, Elusive Krasis. Totally Lost is good if you have... Totally Lost is good with our mill, with like Pilfered Plans and Grizzly Spectacle and stuff. But Gutter Skulk is a 2-drop and we're short on creatures currently. I might just want some early blockers. So let's take the Gutter Skulk. Next we have Hands of Binding, Frilled Oculus, Syndicate Enforcer, Dying Wish. What's our evasion? Our only evasive creatures currently are just the Windrake and the Maze Glider, and the Mirko Vosk. But I think we want the Syndicate Enforcer here. It's another 4-drop, but we're not likely to play our Mind Statics. I'd rather play a Syndicate Enforcer because it's a creature and it has Extort. So I'll take the Enforcer. There's a chance he could have wheeled, and I might have just wanted the Hands of Binding, but Hands of Binding does not look that great in this deck. Currently. Could see a bunch of flyers out of the last pack, in which case it would be better, but I'd like to see some Death's Approach. That would be nice with our mill. Let's hide the Mind Statics for now. Wow, another Boros Charm. It's also Denrova Horror, which is an excellent spell. It's also Devour Flesh. Denrova Horror is pretty good for getting additional creatures in their graveyard for the white, potentially. Devour Flesh is very cheap removal. We do currently only have 9 creatures. There are 10 picks left in this pack. I don't think we're going to wield it in Rova Horror. He's a 6-drop, but he's pretty strong. I like I think I want the Horror. He's like a Void Wielder sort of, except he has even more crazy stuff he can do. He interacts fairly well with Maze Abomination and Maze Glider. I do like the Devour Flesh too. It also works with the white, but I don't know. I really like Rova Horror a lot, comparing it to Void Wielder. Alright, we could take the Dimir Guildgate here. I don't think we need another 6-drop. And Dimir Guildgate maybe makes the Gatekeepers a little more playable. There's also Prophetic Prism, which doesn't look necessary. Okay, now there's Shadow Slice. I think we'll take that, even though we don't have that many flyers. It's okay in general. Zamek Guildmage did table, which is pretty remarkable, but I'm going to try and keep it 2 colors still. And Zamek Guildmage would not be that great on the splash, I don't think. So let's take the Shadow Slice. Wow, and just multiple Simic, just all the Simic signals. Nice. Guess we'll take Last Thoughts. It's also Contaminated Ground, which I've had played against me, which is interesting, but I don't think it's that great. Alright, definitely take the Voidwalk. Voidwalk is actually pretty decent. Managed to be a pretty decent card against auras and cipher effects. Can take the Corpse Blockade here. We can also take the Psychic Strike. Psychic Strike mills for the white. Let's kind of go down more that plan. Even though Corpse Blockade's a good blocker, I could see that argument for that. Let's take the Strike because it mills, which I like more for the white. Alright, we did table the Totally Lost, which is nice. Totally take that. Alright, I guess we'll take Frilled Oculus. Totally could have gone into Simic. I mean, we're just getting the latest Simic picks I've ever seen, so no one is in Simic. We probably are competing with people for spells, but I'm pretty satisfied with what we have already. Let's get rid of the Last Thoughts. Let's get rid of the Voidwalk. Let's get rid of the Oculus. Let's get rid of the Hidden Strings. So, hiding all that, currently have 19 good playables. It's pretty satisfactory. This pack has Dead Reveler, Launch Party, Shred Freak. I think we're just taking the Dead Reveler. He's a creature, he's a good attacker, he's a good blocker. Fine first pick, not super exciting. Our rare is Grove of the Guardian. So we'll take Dead Reveler. Um, 11 creatures, which isn't much, but we have triple Pilfered Plans. So that's a good sign, alongside the Warp Physique and Pilfered Plans work really well for each other. And not having a lot of creatures is okay if you have a lot of draw spells. Martial Law got passed to us. There's also Judge's Familiar in this pack, which I would like, but I think we're just going to slam the Ultimate Price, which is excellent piece of removal. Very good when you have a lot of draw cards and stuff that gets bigger for creatures in your opponent's graveyard. AKA White of Precinct 6. Okay. This pack's got Inaction, Injunction, Paralyzing Grasp. Grasp is worse in this deck because we have the whites, so we kind of want to put their creatures in the graveyard. But I think I'm still going to take it here over the Injunction. I guess Injunction's okay at cantrips, so we can take that over the Grasp. Maybe we'll wheel the Grasp. Not super likely, but possible. Got past the Grasp anyway. I think we want the long legs here for double black. There's also Perilous Shadow, which is fine, but I like the long legs more, I think. It's a better price. There's also Annihilating Fire in here. Dryad Militant, Golgari Decoy, Centaur's Herald. Good green spells. Eyes in the Sky is good white. Rune Wing's fine. Let's take the long legs. It's a good beater. Alright, this pack has Launch Party, Stealer of Secrets, Grim Roustabout. Currently our removal is Injunction, Ultimate Price, Warped Physique, Fatal Fumes, Grisly Spectacle, Totally Lost. I wouldn't mind having some more removal. Probably get away with replacing Shadow Slice with more removal. I could take the Stealer, but like I said, with all the draw cards, we don't need too terribly many creatures. And Launch Party is actually a pretty good piece of removal. I guess it's better when you have a lot of creatures, but we have ones I'm willing to throw away. And we probably wheel the Roustabout or the Stealer, maybe. Let's just take the Launch Party. I like it. We can get rid of the Totally Lost or the Shadow Slice. Okay, we can take Gatekeeper or Doorkeeper. I don't think we need the Inspiration since we have the triple Pilfered Plans. It seems unnecessary. Let's just take the Doorkeeper here. He's a fine blocker. He's also sack fodder for Launch Party, and he's also putting cards in your opponent's graveyard if you have the excess mana, which is good for the whites and milling them faster with Mirko Vosk. So it looks like we probably want to cut the eventually Gatekeeper. I guess we can keep him around. It's just a 2/4. So maybe the Totally Lost is the next cut. And then we'll have a fair amount of removal and creatures. Definitely slamming the Hover Barrier here. He's almost like pseudo removal since he blocks everything. Really like that. We'll hide the Totally Lost. Alright. Crosstown Courier also mills. But there's Skywatch, which is better. Skyline Predator, which is fine as well. I don't really like Courier that much. We already have 3 6-drops though, which is a pretty significant amount. I think we can take the Courier. He doesn't get in very much. But when he does, he can really set up your whites. You can see that being good. I don't know if I play 4 6-drops. I guess I'm taking the Courier. It's more likely I play the Courier. So, need to make a few cuts now. Maybe the Gatekeeper goes... Actually, I have some decisions to make here. Maybe the Gutter Skulk goes. Crosstown Courier is a little bit more of our strategy, since it mills, even though it has 1 less toughness. We didn't have to be a dedicated mill deck. It's really nice having the perk of double white and Mirko Vosk. Alright, got another Courier. I'm pretty happy about that. I think we're going to try for that strategy over... Yeah, we can get rid of Gatekeeper now. Just a 2/4, don't need it. Unnecessary. It's a cool looking deck. Good split of removal. Good amount of win cons. Maybe we don't even need the Syndicate Enforcer in here. Guess we can take Downsize, but not likely to play it. So currently our deck is looking very good. I wield the Paralyzing Grasp, that's kind of cool. Might sideboard into it, not likely to main deck it. Pretty unnecessary. Maybe we're cutting the Gutter Skulk. Just do on the Crosstown Courier, White Precinct 6 plan. I kind of like that. Perilous Shadow Table, that's a good card. I'm probably not likely to play that either. I guess we could cut the Syndicate Enforcer or the Dead Reveler, but Dead Reveler is a better blocker, which I think this deck likes. Neither of these matter, I guess. Alright. Oak Street Innkeeper, second to last pick, and last pick Island. Alright, so pretty solid looking Dimir deck we have here. Gotta make a couple more cuts, but I still think I want the triple Pilfered Plans with the double white of Precinct 6. Didn't get any Death's Approach, just a little bit disappointing. But, oh, and the Pilfered Plans work really well with the Warp Physique, like I said earlier. Maybe we don't need the main deck Psychic Strike, but I actually like that quite a bit too. We actually had, we ended up with a fair amount of good mill cards. So let's put in all the cards that we want to play possibly first. Looked like we had a pretty good curve. Still kind of like the Injunction alongside the Couriers. Maybe we don't need the Doorkeeper. Alright, this is 24, and we have a Guildgate. Okay. Let us look for one cut. So this is 14 creatures. Let's put our removal down here so we can take a look at it. A lot of 3-drop removal. Okay, so our removal is Ultimate Price, Inaction, Injunction, Warped Physique, Psychic Strike, Triple Pilfered Plans. It's not removal, but draws us our removal, and Fatal Fumes. So that's all our non-creature spells. And then we have Double Crosstown Courier, Doorkeeper, 2 white of Precinct 6, Dead Reveler, Hover Barrier, Windrake, Grizzly Spectacle, Launch Party, Syndicate Enforcer, Golgari, Longlegs, Mirko Vosk, Dinrova Horror, Maze Abomination, Maze Glider. I do kind of want the Extort, but at the same time I like the Dead Reveler because he's a good attacker and blocker. I could cut one of my Pilfered Plans, but I kind of don't want to. I guess I'd rather almost cut a Psychic Strike, but I don't really want to cut any of my mill cards in general. If I was to cut a creature, perhaps the Doorkeeper, I could sideboard into it. It does mill as well, but we don't have any other defenders, so it's pretty abysmal mill. It's a little bit pricey for what it does. It does block early as well, but I'd rather have all my creatures be able to attack, I guess. So this looks like a pretty solid 23 card Dimir deck. Good curve. If you want to watch this draft, go to SeemsGoodMagic.com. I'll have the rounds posted there. Email me at mortarpod@seemsgoodmagic.com. I guess I can add the lands real quick. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're just going to do an even split, I'm guessing. No green. So eight swamps, 8 islands, and Dimir Guildgate. Mortarpod@seemsgoodmagic.com. If you have any comments on the podcast. Sorry, this one was a little bit short today. You can follow us on Twitter @SeemsGoodMagic. And if you do, you know when we live stream, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. Occasionally we do surprise live streams where we'll just be playing Commander or something and we'll come on. It looks like there's Plane Chase or something for online, which I didn't know that, but it looked like they were offering Plane Chase stuff in their store, which is kind of cool. So I might be looking into recording that if I pick it up. Alright, I think that's it for the podcast. Support my eBay store by going to SeemsGoodMagic.com, clicking on the eBay store link, and purchasing any playsets or singles. I've really been trying to price it at, give it a reasonable price. It really directly supports these videos and the podcast and everything, so really would help me out tremendously. I'm still looking into starting an online bot. I think it's a little pricier than I thought it would be, but I'm still working out a lot of kinks. I'm very busy, so I'm working on it. Yeah, thanks.